Cheers to my husband. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 20 of Get Out of the Rat Race Rut. I'm Beth Campbell. I'm a career coach and mentor, former corporate captive, now helping you find fulfillment. If you need some guidance in finding your career or life happy place, send me a message or go to bethannecampbell.com/coach me. Thanks so much for being here. If you're watching live, let me know that you're here in the comments. If you're watching the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. And of course, let me know if you have any questions or feedback so I can address it on a future episode. Before we get into the topic, yesterday we talked about brain fog. I was having some brain fog, my friends. I was having some brain fog. And what did I say? Every time that happens, every time I'm feeling like my mood is off or I'm having a moment, I look back. What have I been eating? Sleeping, how have I been sleeping, and how's my stress? My stress has been pretty good lately, thankfully, now not being under the corporate shackles anymore. But I've been eating shit, and it's fall, it's like donuts and cider kind of mentality. But I had, I talked about a week ago, not a week ago, a few days ago, I had a stuck contact to my eye, and so I've been having a little bit of trouble with a little dry eye in the sleep. So again, eating shit and sleeping badly. Last night I slept better, and I've been eating better today in the last 24 36 hours, and guess what, I'm feeling so much better, and so much more clear-headed. Got a shit ton done this morning. So I'm telling you, brain fog, sleep, eat, and stress, that'll solve 99% of your brain fog. Anyway, topic for today, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, but it needs to be said. And just remember, all of this stuff that I talk about, I have done or said to myself. I am you, right? So here it is. Sometimes you share responsibility for the things that suck in your career. Like your shitty job, your shitty work relationships, your stress, your unhappiness, your lack of fulfillment. You do. At least partially. I'm not suggesting that you don't have things coming at you that are partially to blame. You absolutely do. They are legit. And by the way, I'm not talking about like threatening situations where you feel your life is in danger. Don't come at me with, it's not my fault. I'm not talking about like legal or ethical stuff, legitimate fear, like if you're being harassed or threatened and physically bullied. Of course, that's wrong. And I'm not saying that you caused it. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you caused it. I'm just saying you're partially responsible for how you deal with it, especially with things like the everyday chaos of your work life that you and I did complain about all the time. These are the things that cause you stress every day in your career, like your day-to-day. Like you getting treated badly by your boss or your leadership team, or you have way too much work, or you got thrown to the wolves on a project or an assignment, you got fired or laid off even though you're doing an awesome job. You feel like you have no priorities, or your processes are terrible and just a complete mess. Did I mention I almost choked somebody over processes once? I think I did. Anyway, you're not compensated fairly. You can't get promoted. All of this and more might be true of your situation and coming from sources that are beyond your control. Absolutely. But still, if you're not happy, it's probably partly your fault. So why do I want to drill this into you like a parent, into all of you out there? Oh, Stephanie says, compliments my lipstick. Thank you. I've worn this a few times, but it might have put it on a little bit more. So thank you, Stephanie. So it's your fault. That's basically what I'm saying. Why do I want to drill this into you, right? Why am I so adamant about accepting responsibility for our situations? There's a few reasons. Number one, a lot of us play the victim for situations that are not really victim situations. They're not heinous. I am the queen of playing the victim. Example, your triple booked calendar isn't the same as somebody like who's being pressured to have sex to keep their job, right? Or harassed. We use this sort of martyr persona to cope, to distract, to justify our stress. And I get it. Believe me, I do get it. But it makes you believe that you are a victim, and you're not. We take actions every day that are contrary to our best interests, such as we react versus respond. This creates emotional or sometimes traumatic situations when it doesn't have to. It's just time to acknowledge that, right? Facts and stories, day 15, we talked about this. Other ways that we take actions that don't help us, we hold back. We don't use our voice. We flee from discomfort and fear and failure. We don't set boundaries, or we do and we just don't keep them. Or we get caught up in the complaining and the resentment. That's moi, right? What else? We hold on to things that don't serve us. So we did a session on day 10, letting go, right? That was huge, right? So many things. I believe that we control our destiny. We have the power to change our own lives, and ain't nothing going to stand in our way if we put our minds to it. You deserve to be happy and fulfilled. And if what is standing in your way is you, then let's just accept that, change, and move on to a better life. Whatever causes the distress in your work life, you probably bear some responsibility. You bear responsibility for how you feel about it and how you hold on to it. Half of this entire live series, more than half of it, is about what you have control over within that you're not using to your best interests. So how can we embrace that accountability for our situation, our own situation, and make it better? Well, number one, follow the tips on these Facebook Lives, this series. Most of them will help you be more self-aware and to recognize when you have the power to change the world around you, or at least how you perceive it. Number two, work on your self-image. Day 9, we talked about your deep-rooted beliefs about yourself. They drive everything that you do and say and feel. Work on changing what's not working, and you'll have the confidence for some of these other things that you can do. Empower yourself to set boundaries. Just say no. Oh my God, this is such a thing that we create, especially in the corporate world. I did the same thing. You cannot physically attend 3 or 4 overlapping meetings. It's just not possible by the laws of the universe. So, well, at least that we know, Neil deGrasse Tyson might say otherwise, but as far as we know, you can't attend 3 or 4 overlapping meetings. So why fret about it? Figure out which one, if any of them, you need to attend, and then just don't worry about the rest. If somebody wants you badly enough, if you're critical, they will find an open space on your calendar, or they will communicate and have a conversation about getting you there. If your work-life balance and your mental health is being negatively impacted by the chaos coming at you, say no, right? Your mental health, your well-being. You already have something planned for your time. It's called life. So don't be ashamed to honor your self-care and your need for downtime. That's a boundary. Okay, number 4, don't respond to every request like it's an emergency. I did that for many, many years. It's not an emergency. It's not. All you're doing is you're setting precedent for you to be that person, the person who drops everything. You can't drop everything for every request. And you may think that you can now, but in the future, believe me, you will not, because you'll just keep getting more and more of it. So stop doing it. You'll still be valuable. You are valuable. So just trust me on that one. I speak from experience. Okay, what else? Don't let yourself be triggered or riled up by the asshats of your company. Go back and review day 5, how to handle the office asshat. Respond with control. Be cool, calm, and collected. Do not react. You will become part of the problem. It'll just cause more stress in your life. Number 6, let it go. Day 10, let go of the negative energy you've been holding on to that makes you and only you miserable, because that other person doesn't give a shit. So whatever it is that they did or said, let it go. Make the decision to not be a victim. Okay, when this tornado starts picking up around you and swirling and you get that knot in your stomach, stop asking, why is this happening to you? And start asking, okay, what can I do myself within to make the situation better? Believe me, it works. And stop complaining and dwelling on negative thoughts and energy. Again, I did a whole episode on how I was the queen of complaining. You get back what you put out. You receive what you believe. So start putting out what you want and stop focusing on what you don't want. Take responsibility for that energy that you put out into the world that doesn't serve you well. And again, I'm not saying it's all your fault, but some of it is. When you start taking responsibility for your own actions and for your own contribution to situations, it's empowering. You'll realize how much that you really do have control over. When I was embroiled in the chaos of corporate life, I played the victim. I was the queen. And there is no doubt I had big challenges coming to me that coming my way that I had little control over, just like you do. But I most definitely made things worse for myself in how I reacted, how I let myself get riled up, how I gave in to low confidence, and how I bled negativity all day long. I had to learn, and I'm still learning, how much power I have to change this, and so do you. You really do. If you stop being pissed off at everybody else and start caring about yourself, you'll be amazed at how your life changes. Not only will your work life improve, you won't care so much about the shit that hits the fan that's out of control. You'll manage it better, and the impact of those shitstorms, it won't be half as bad, not a fraction as bad. So try it. Take responsibility for your career and your life happiness. It is really hard, I know, to look within when we feel like we're being wronged. It is really hard to look within when we feel like we are being wronged by somebody else or some institution. But remember, you can't change all of that external stuff. Of course you should stand up for yourself and speak out, but you can't make the chaos go away with the flip of your magic Harry Potter wand. Expelliarmus Asmodeus. It doesn't work that way. Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. You can change yourself, your energy, your attitude, your outlook, and it will make a difference. I promise you. All right. Going to some comments because I saw Miss Stephanie coming in. It's easier to complain or play the victim than to make the necessary changes. However, making the changes today saves energy, mood, health, etc. in the long run. Lasting change with effort today versus perpetual complaining always. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to come down on anybody I was a complainer, right? You have legitimate stuff to complain about. And so it's okay, vent, but then just there comes a point where it's just not serving you anymore, and it's hurting you, right? So and I do know I was one of them. People that played the victim, like, oh, woe is me, my work is, and it does suck. I'm not saying it doesn't, and I know I take a lot of things for granted here that people are going through, but not everything that you're going through is not out of your control. So there are things that you can absolutely work on to make things better. So thank you for that comment, Stephanie. All right, tomorrow we are going to talk about the power of networking. So for your career success, networking can be an amazing tool to find a new job, to level up, or just to work better, right? Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook if you're not already. Thank you so much for joining Get Out of the Rat Race Rut. You are here because you are a badass. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, Stephanie.